Hey everyone, welcome back. Dev Spider here. So I know it's been a while since I've got any content out. I should be returning now finally. Life's thrown a bunch of wrenches at me, so I'm finally back. So let's get back into it. The Infected's come out with a whole new version since I last made a video on this. So the last time I did this was version 14. The new map, the new ATV, all that just dropped. Now there's been a lot of new additions on cosmetics, the way blueprints work, and various other changes that he's been tweaking and making. As we know, the dev's always working on something new. There's a bunch of other stuff coming down the pipeline. I believe he's announced a lot of it already, but we can look forward to probably some new cosmetics and things hitting the market soon. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the game and see what all the new changes are, see if we can't find these new vendors, see how they work out. So I'm currently playing on the beta version 15.03, as you can see at the top here. I did do a quick test just to remember the controls and get a feel for everything. So as usual, we're going to leave all the settings alone. I like to play the way the dev has it set, just so we get a feel for the way he wants it played. You can change these. I've gone over these in previous videos, so if you need help with them, as always, go back. And I think you have to go back before version 14. Any first video will go into heavy detail on what you can do with all of these and what you should change and what you should leave alone. Besides that, let's get started. So we're going to call this one version 15 2023 beta. So you name your game, hit start game, it'll hit a load screen. He's added some new images here, so it's not just spinning while looking at the woods. Okay, so we've loaded into the game, everything's booted up. Right here in front of us, you should spawn in the same spot as me, should see the same images, the same location. So from here we can press M, as in Mike, it'll open our map. We can look around and see all kinds of things. These green dots, I don't know if they're going to stay or not, or if they're just part of beta, but if anybody hasn't played since 14, or since the last time I get videos out, a lot of these mountains, people were giving the dev a lot of complaints about it, saying it was just too much. They wanted to have some more level ground to build on and travel across, so it's not just driving through valleys the whole time. So he heard the request, he made it happen. He added in some new biomes, so we've got like the desert, the redland forests with really big trees, giant fir trees. So let's go check all that out. But again, the green dots, those are going to be your little cities and villages where you're going to find all of your enemies. Of course, the X's on here, those are your caves. The little brown spot up here at the top, that's the swamp. We'll go over that more in detail once we get to it. As always, you know, in the first 3 to 6 episodes, it'll take us a minute. We'll get everything built up and get started. If you look down here at the bottom of the map, you can see our player icon. We can zoom in using the mouse wheel and zoom out. So if we wanted to see where we're at on the map, just zoom in. Use your left mouse button, you can drag it around to get closer. You can see like right here, there's a little blue icon. I think that's just a waterfall. I haven't made it up there yet. But based on the fact that there's another one up here on this spot, I know that's a waterfall, so, or right here rather. So I'm pretty sure those are just marking some of the waterfalls across the map. Some people like to build on those. From there, first things first, let's get right into the game. So if you look to the right of the screen, you'll see our stat menu. So at the top is health, below that is our stamina. So if we hold down the shift key and we run, we sprint, we use up stamina. Once you run out of stamina, you move really slow. Below that is thirst. Below that's hunger. Below that is going to be your meat or proteins. Then below that we have our different types of carbs, vitamins, vegetables, and all the goodness that we have to gather across the map. We can increase those stats once we get to advanced cooking, but that's going to be a little bit down the road. The next one down from there, ignore that 119. If you can see it, it looks like it's going into my recording. That's actually my graphics card. If you ever play brand new games like this, always make sure you check out your task manager. If anybody needs more details, just ask me in the comments below. I'll make a quick like 2-minute video. If you play any early release games, pre-alpha games, or even AAA games as New World Cyberpunk proved, you always want to watch what your PC is doing, because they will melt your brand new graphics cards if you don't keep up. So I keep an eye on my frames. I usually lock them in. If you need to change settings here, and there is one setting we'll cover really fast, but let's finish what I was talking about. So below your carbs and your nutrients, the next one down, that is going to be your energy level. To recover that, you need to eat and sleep. The one next, or the one right below that, is sunlight. So if we stand in the sun, you'll see it go from 100 down to 99 out of 100. And you can get poison and stuff from that. You can build sunscreen. We'll go over that, all the medicines later on. For the most part, once it gets too low, just step in the shade and it will charge back up. And again, so into options, I've already changed this. So if you change your options, they do save. Even if you do start a new game, your previous option settings save over. So you can see where I've already tweaked on my volume levels. Hopefully they're good. If the thunder gets too loud or anything changes and it needs to be tweaked, let me know, guys. Besides that, you can change things in here. Most things people want is like foliage density. Usually you want to leave that around medium. That way the game looks pretty. You can turn it down to low if you need some help finding something. Maybe you can't see something or something fell through the graphics. If you do have issues, anything in the game you find that's a problem, maybe like texture that's not built right, just go ahead and drop that in Discord and the dev will get to it. From there, like I said, most games I like my frame rate in around 120. You're going to want to change, however, let me see, where's that set? It's on camera right here. So I've got mine set to 20 to 25 is about good for your camera sensitivity on X and Y. Anything higher than that, and you're going to be moving at a super high rate. And I should have gone over this too. On the start screen, when you first create your game, you're going to want to make sure you either enable or disable autosave. I don't like autosaving. I like to save based on completing things, and then that way if I want to ever go back, I can just reload the previous save. Autosave will just overwrite it. So that's up to y'all how you want to do that. But if you want to enable autosave, that's where you do it. Otherwise, you're going to hit escape and have to hit save every time like I do. You can respawn from here. You can quit from here. You can disable the tutorial. And with that, let's get started. And if you don't like your stat menu being on the screen, you don't want to stare at those all the time, you can press G as in golf. That'll make those disappear. And then you can press G again, and they'll pop right back up. On the top, very top there too, I forgot to go over this. Above your health bar, that is your weight. So we're currently at 8.1 out of 50. If we press I as in India, that's going to open our inventory menu right here. So I guess we'll just go over this really fast while we're here, which this is kind of dangerous for me because it's wasting time. You kind of want to jump in the game and get started immediately. You are on a timer as far as surviving before winter gets here, before stuff gets a little crazy. In case you have not played yet, you definitely want to move fast. So you're going to hit I as an inventory. It's going to open your inventory. This is your main backpack, and we'll go over how to make this bigger and expand it out. So you're going to start off with a lighter, 5 bandages, and 5 medicated bandages. So make sure you keep up with these. You're going to need them. Personally, I say keep these on you at all times. So that's our backpack. So at the top left here, backpack, that's what you see here. Then you have your food backpack, and in this we start with a flask. It's got 60 clean water in it. We can go over how to make that, part of the tutorial that we're going to cover. And then we have beef stew here in case you need food. We've got 5 of these. That gives you all the stats you need. So vitamins, fat, protein, carbs, thirst, health. They do weigh a little bit, but it's fine, no big deal. It also gives 25 energy. I like to save these for the first winter or two, just in case I need them. Usually you don't. There's a way to work around dying in winter, so we'll go over that when we get there. So that's the food pack. Next to that is weapons. So here we have the weapons. So right here is slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, and slot 4. And those relate to your number keys, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So once we start making weapons and tools, they will go in these slots. If you're trying to craft a weapon or tool and it will not craft, check these slots. If you have 4 weapons/tools already equipped in here, you can't craft another one until you put those in storage or drop them. Next to that, again, you can see your weight. We're currently at 8.1 pounds out of 50. Next to that is our build menu. So if we click on this book right here, it allows us to build. So here we have foundations. So we have that under construction. You also have the placeables tab over here. So we have workbenches, storage, power, food, furniture, buildings, others. We'll get into all that later on. Then you have your side menu here to go through more things that you can build. He's added a few things since the last time I was here. So we'll go over all that once we get building our base. I'm going to try to build in the desert. I hear it's kind of rough to build there. We're going to try it out anyways, just so we can stare at that and new redwood trees. Next to that, we have the craft menu. So that's this little hammer and anvil icon at the top. So if we had items here, we could place them on that. We'll go over that in a second once we get to it. Next is technologies. As we find tech books, and this is one of the biggest things that's changed if somebody's returning that's played before, you need to pay attention to this. You actually now, when you go to each village, you will find a tech page. And that tech page will give you a tech point. And that tech point will allow you to learn what you want to, so you can choose the order of which you learn rather than just finding techs randomly. So again, he's made it more user-friendly so you can build the way you want to. And that's what he's been trying to do, is make it a truly open experience to where if you want to play a survival game, you play it your way and not the way that is designated, so it's not linear. Next to that, we have player armor. So head, chest, shirt, jacket. We'll get to that once we get to it. That's a little bit farther down the road. Next to that is the itempedia. So if you want to make stuff, let's get out of the sun. I think we're cooking right now. Yep, we're cooking. So let's go here to the shade, plus it's easier to see. All right, so itempedia. So here, if you hover over anything in here, it can tell you how to make it, where to find it. It gives you hints, clues, and the recipes. So if we want to make, say, the stone hammer, we need 1 stick, 1 small stone, 1 rope. It can be crafted by the player or on the workbench. And then it tells you what it's used for, which is to repair constructions, i.e. your walls and buildings. On the side here are more tabs. If you click through those, it'll flip the pages for you if you want that. And then you can see all the different things, recipes. If you need a clue or a hint on how to use something, where to find it, how to make something, this is where you go to do that. Next to that, it says what day we're on. We're currently on day 1, 12:40 p.m., so it's lunchtime. And the next to that is one of the new features. Right here it says coins, and that is where we can earn money. So we can go to and from the vendors to purchase new recipes and techs. But like I said, let's go ahead and jump into this. So hopefully the volume sounds okay. If we can't hear it, I might need to adjust it a little bit. Let's go ahead and check that out. All right, so if you make any changes here, make sure you do the changes, hit apply, and Once you hit apply, then hit OK. It should take that, and then we can hit save if we want to, just to make sure. You'll see in the top left it says saving. All right, from here, let's go ahead and search some stuff. So we can search the grill. Let's go ahead and take that. If you click this arrow at the bottom, that's a take all button. We don't really need that, but we'll take it anyways. Here's one of the tires. So I should have covered that. So we'll just drop the tire there by right-clicking. All right, so this is the ATV. If you stare at this and look at the lower left corner, it tells you materials needed. Iron ingot 02, tire 04, gas can 01. So we're going to look around in this building here and find those items and put this thing back together. The first thing it wants us to do, though, of course, is to start the tutorial. So hold F, as in Foxtrot, and it gives us the task list. So ATV recovery and repair. We need to examine the ATV, learn where all the supplies are, and assemble it, and then move on to the next task. So we're just going to get the tire, add that here by pressing E. So E is an echo to pick it up. E is an echo to then place it on it. Come in here, look at these tables. You might find some stuff on top of them, like this fuel can. So we'll take that gas can. Gonna need that in a minute. We're gonna leave the second gas can here. We'll grab it before we leave. There's another tire right there. Let's go ahead and head upstairs first, though. Alright, so we've got an iron ingot here. Let's grab that, and then we'll search this table. We'll do a take all. Some of that's pretty good stuff. If we get too heavy, too weighted, we can go store it on the ATV once it's complete. Search here. Plant fiber, I wouldn't worry about that. So what we're gonna do is hold down the shift button and then right click on the items that we do want. So we want the cloth and the bone shard. Another iron ingot right here on the bed. Alright, so you can search all kinds of stuff besides just the dressers. So we can search these trash bags. There's a potato, let's take that. A piece of coal, we're going to leave that. We don't need that for a while. From here, there's a small table. Let's take these screws. So we just got 20 screws. And then there's 2 more tires, so we'll grab one of those. And let's go ahead and run that around. Okay, so we grabbed our last tire. While you grab this, again, make sure you stay in the shade as much as you can. It'll help you out in the long run to get more tasks done before it's all said and done. So then, once our tires are on, we'll press E to add the rest of our materials. And then we have the ATV, as you can see here. Then we can open the inventory on the ATV, which is this little storage crate on the back. And we can add everything to it. So to add things to it, if you want to only add one item, say you see we have 20 screws here, hold down Alt, left Alt, and then right click, it'll move just one. If you hold down Shift and right click again, it'll move the whole stack. So we're going to hold down Shift and right click everything that we want to put in here. Again, I would advise leaving your bandages and your lighter on you. I'm going to run back in here and grab this last fuel crate. Fuel's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. Some people think it's rough. I think it's fine. Just go through the villages. You can find them pretty quick. So we'll throw that can inside of there. I do want to loot this mailbox. There's a little mailbox right here. We're going to open that. You can see we have bark chips in here. We don't need those. We'll get plenty later. So you can drop those if you want. Leave them in there. Doesn't matter. The spoil food, take that. You're going to need it. We'll take the rope too. It's pretty easy to get. Right here is a melon. So keep an eye out for vegetables. So we have all kinds. So this one's a melon plant. This one gives energy and stuff, I believe, unless he's tweaked that too. So if you hover over the melon, it'll tell you what it gives you. As you can see, there's a timer. It spoils and goes bad, so then it'll turn into spoiled food once that timer runs out. Besides that, it gives us 20 thirst, 48 carbs, 10 fat, 4 vitamins, 8 energy. The biggest thing on this is the energy for me. You definitely want to gather a bunch of food. If the food's weighing you down, you need more weight, just eat it. It'll give you some energy back and some nutrients and stats that you need. Yes, I just picked the small rock because that's part of our tutorial. Should be coming up. So right now, okay, with your vehicle repaired, it's time to head out and explore the world. First, locate a suitable spot to construct your base. So like I said, I think we're going to build right here in this, what I call the oasis, the big desert. It's got a little pond in it. So we're going to go over there and check that out. So we'll jump on the ATV. It should populate our quests once we do that. Alright, so to get on the ATV, I should have gone over that. You just press E. As you can see, it pops up on the screen. You don't have to crank the motor or do anything like you do once we get the truck. WASD to move it around and drive it. If you get it stuck, press P as in Papa and it should flip. While you're on it and it's running, it burns fuel. If you need to add fuel to it, you just need to come to this side of it, what I guess you could call the passenger side. Look at the fuel tank, press E. That white circle, around the white circle, that is your fuel. So if once that outer circle is gone, then you're out of gas. So then grab a fuel tank, which meant to go into the inventory, grab a fuel tank, go over there, and then add it to that. So let's see. Locate a suitable spot, and then craft and place a claim pole. Okay, so until we place the claim pole, it's not going to ask us to do anything. We're going to grab this stick and this stone, though. It should help in the long run. I went ahead and turned my foliage back up to medium. I don't know why it was still on low. I think I forgot to hit apply. So now with the foliage back up, you can see the game actually looks really good. And then we're going to take off. So again, we're just pressing W once we press E to get on it. We're going to follow the road and head down to the desert. Now you can drive and stuff while the map is open. I don't advise it because you can crash into trees and rocks. It'll flip you all over the place. So the ATV is not the fastest thing in the world, does not the best storage, but it works. Right here below this building, we'll come across a couple of cars and things on the road. Now you shouldn't see any enemies, I believe, on day 1. I did see some when I test played on day 2. So they will be coming. And I'm not sure that's in relation to the claim pole or not. So while we're driving down the road, make sure you're looking left and right. Keep your eye out for any types of vegetables and plants. You're going to want to gather those, keep the seeds, so you're going to need them before winter gets here. Another thing, while you're driving, you're going to see these dead birds popping up. So right here's a seagull. We're going to gather that. Just look at it, press E. It's going to give us a bunch of feathers. You're going to really need those feathers, so they're going to come in handy. There's a cucumber plant down here. Let's go grab that. So again, there's different types of plants. You have all kinds of things: watermelons, melons, cucumbers. I see a pumpkin from right here. And again, just gather as many of these as you can. If you get full, eat them. Keep your stats up as high as you can. Keep your energy as high as you can. Later on, it gets a lot easier. Right now, it's a little bit of a struggle. But then, of course, besides that, we also have onions. We need to gather meat, which we get meat from animals. But again, we're just going to keep cruising down the road. We've already picked up a couple of cars. And we're just going to follow this path. Made it to the new desert biome. So we're currently right here on the map, like I said we would be. This is what I'm going to call the Oasis. So this is going to be the Oasis base. Actually would have been a great name for the save. So out here you can see we've got tons of clay rocks. Let's go and grab a stone. We're going to need that in a second. So clay rocks, we've got these aloe vera plants, so we can break these once we build some tools. We've got these red rocks. You can be sure not to jump off too high of cliffs. For anybody who's brand new to the game, you'll break your leg, and you have to make a splint. Right here, though, then we have these red rocks. You can break these up. That'll give you shell. Again, that's later in the game, so don't worry about that right now. This is just a standard rock. Break that, you get small stone, small tree. So let's go ahead and let's put down our land claim pole. We're going to put the first one down here in the trees just to get the tutorial done so I can go over all those steps with you. Now, I said that, but so I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're actually hurting on stats. So if you look in the lower left, you see that a head is flashing with circles around it. It means we're low on something, so we're low on water. We're at 6 out of 100, and the rest of our stats are depleting because it takes a long time to drive down here. On this video, it should look pretty fast, but just note I cut that part out of the whole drive. So let's go ahead and press I. We're going to go to our food pack. Here, you're going to want to eat all your dry food first. So eat all of your meat, not your raw meat. Eat the cooked meat. So I did stop and loot a house or two where I didn't see any of the enemies, and I grabbed some stuff out of those really fast. So we'll eat these potatoes. So meat, potatoes, cooked meat, I should say. Potatoes, corn. We found some corn on the way. Eat our pumpkins, and you'll see over here on this side all of our stats are going up. If they get too low, like below 50%, your stamina will drop, and stamina drops and your energy level drops. So make sure you keep everything pushed as high as you can. We're just gonna go ahead and eat everything just to say we did, because we need our weight to get down. And that gets our water up to 40 out of 100. We're gonna drink some of our canteen. It's now going to be empty, so we're at 0.60 on the the flask rather. But our stats are good. Now that we're here, we can go ahead and save. That way, if we mess up, we can fix it. So let's go ahead and run up here, because like I said, I want to try to build on top of this cliff. Again, while you're out here, make sure you watch your sun damage. That is your bottom stat on the right. So I think, because I scouted this place out earlier, there's like a little flat spot here. It's kind of hard to get to. So I think I could fence off this one little spot here, and maybe that'll keep us safe for the start of the game. And then I'll build some steps, and we'll try to get on top here. Up here at some point. I was thinking maybe like a nice glass house would look pretty cool. So we'll see what we can do with that. As far as the land claim pole, because I want to put one down there in the trees where the trees are going to spawn at. That's the only problem with building in the desert. Not a lot of trees. So wood is going to be a little time consuming. Again, first thing it wants us to do is no place like home. So put down your land claim. So we're going to build others. And then right here's the land claim pole. If it's red, you can't build it. Use the mouse wheel to spin it around. And then just wait until it turns green. You can place it anywhere it turns green. So we're going to put ours kind of close here because we want to try to cover... See if we can't get a little bit higher. We want to try to cover the entire plateau with this one. At the same time, you do not want to place this where it's going to be in your way. So a lot of foresight planning goes into this. Since we're just going to build stairs down here, it should be fine as long as we get kind of close. I don't want it hovering. I don't like stuff sticking out like that. It's unnatural. So once you find a spot you like it, I think I can live with it right there. Press E as an echo. It'll place it. Doesn't require any materials. If you want to press E while looking at it, you can turn its stats on for your noise light levels. So noise and light attracts the enemies. If you click the binoculars, It allows you to see the visibility of its build radius. Build radiuses cannot cross each other. So again, like I said, we want to try to cover the whole plateau, but leave enough room to set another one to cover the pond area so we can harvest the trees and still put placeables down there. And then again, if you want to, you can name this, so we'll just call this, like, I don't know, plateau, or just plat base. And then we're not going to touch that for a little bit. Now let's go down here and work on the rest of the tutorial. So now it wants us to gather one stone, gather one stick. We're going to make a stone axe, a stone blade, a stone pickaxe. So we need a couple of sticks, a couple of stones. So I meant to toggle that off, but it's fine. So it'll always be on until you toggle it back off. You can see the giant circle and what it covers. And we can build all of our placeables within that. We'll probably have to put another one on the other side. We'll have to play with that once we get to it. Maybe we'll demo that once we get some stairs built and then try to move it up top. Again, always watching for vegetables. Here's another pumpkin. We're going to harvest that. So task completed, finding carbs. So you don't have to do these in order, but we found carbs. So it checked it off here at the bottom. Now let's see if we can find a stick and a stone. If you already have them in your inventory, they don't count. You can craft with them for the next task. That will count. I do feel like sticks and stones are can be a little hard to see over here in this biome. Especially when it's raining. Alright, so here's a stick. You can see it's kind of bluish when it's behind an object like grass. One of my favorite features that he added. Used to we just had to eyeball it. Here's a stone. Alright, so those tasks are done for that. Sticks are now easy since we all had the axe. Trying to find us another stone really quick. So we went and found us some more stones and some more sticks. So now we've completed our first 4 tasks at the top. Now we need a stone axe, a stone blade. We're going to need plant fiber, so we'll make the axe first. So you're going to press I again. Go to your craft menu, the hammer and anvil at the top. There are quick keys for that. Normally I might put mine on tab or something, but they can cause issues. So again, we're just using default settings right now. Okay, so if you want to make a stone blade, just move a stone over. That'll give you a stone blade. Hit craft. You can repeat that action by doing these 2 dual arrows and just hit repeat. We shouldn't need... Yeah, we're just going to do 1 for now. From there, we need to actually do the first recipe, which is going to be a stone axe. So we're going to add 1 stick. 1 stone, that's going to give us the stone axe. If we press escape, we'll get out of that menu, hold down F again. We'll see the next thing is to gather plant fiber. So if we want plant fiber, I'm going to build us some benches here in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and cut down some of these small trees. So this is the normal speed of cutting right here, in case somebody wants to see that. I'm going to do this a little bit different. Alright, so if you cut down a tree, you're going to then see in your inventory you get bark chips and plant fiber. Then you're going to see logs here. There's technically 3 of them, which is the maximum you can carry on your character at once. Press E to pick them up. Right mouse button if you want to drop them. 1, again, links to our current tool or weapon. So that's the axe that's in the 1 slot, like I said earlier. Then 2, 3, and 4. And let's go ahead and cut. Now there's a fast way to cut, which is what I wanted to go over. So with our axe out, if you cut, and then right mouse button, which gets your shield out, it goes really fast, like we used to be able to do. So you can hit and then shield, hit and shield. And it's almost an instant cut if you're fast enough at clicking and getting the timing down just right. Alright, so the next thing it wants us to make is to craft a stone pickaxe. So I is in inventory again, go to our craft menu, put 1 stick, 1 stone blade. I like to hold down Alt and just move plant fibers until it happens. So now we can make a stone pickaxe. Let's go ahead and craft that. We're going to go ahead and craft another stone blade because we need to make a spear, which is going to require us to get a few more sticks. If you need sticks, you can see these bushes. They were added to the game in version 14. Let's go ahead and cut those down. And that'll drop us all the sticks we could ever want. And from there, let's go ahead and make our spear. I like to keep my spear on 3, so that's why I wanted to go ahead and make it. So we'll add 1 of the stone blades. I believe it's 3 sticks. And I want to say 5 plant fibers. And that should give us a stone spear. Durability is not great, but hey, it's better than nothing. So now that that's made, our next thing it wants us to do is to build a saw bench. I like to build 3 of these at a time. We'll go to our build menu, placeables. Under here, the first thing is the saw bench. It takes 4 wood logs. Let's go ahead and rotate that around. Oh wait, we have to actually, I forgot, since I didn't put my land claim down here, we have to put a land claim down here. Alright, so you see it's green there, we keep backing up, it turns red. If you look at the top left, it says too close to existing land claim pole. So just move forward till it turns green. I like to keep mine pretty close, because I want to be able to build off of that plateau if I need to. And we'll just call this Oasis. You don't have to name it, I just did it because we can. And now we should be able to place our benches down. So open that up, placeables again, saw bench. We'll just put it right in front of that sign. or the land claim pole rather, because there is an actual sign if you want to name things. Yeah, 3 should do the trick for now. We'll probably add more later. And then we'll pick our logs up, add those to these. Once they're built, then you can place a log on it. It's working. Yeah, it'll give you planks in a second. From there, I'm going to go ahead and build these other ones out. All right, now that we have our saw benches, they've been built out. They're now full of planks. So to pick those up, we'd have to have inventory space. I think we have enough to grab a few of them, but as you can see, our inventory is quite full right now. So we're going to want to take care of that momentarily. Let's go ahead and look at our next task though. So it wants us to do water, build a foundation, build a campfire. We already found the carbs, which is just pick up any plant that you find, build a forge, hunting. We'll probably kill a frog when we see one. That'll take care of the hunting one. You can kill a deer, anything else you want to. That's why we made the spear. And then we'll get into the ingot and the tech page after that. So first things first, water is definitely a major concern because we already drank the water that we started with. We were not fortunate enough to find things like watermelons. Watermelons are a great source of water. But because our inventory is full, what we're going to do first is go to placeables, storage. And we're going to go ahead and set us up a couple of storage crates right here. And actually, is this... I think this will be enough out of the way. We'll just put it over here. And the reason being is your inventory is going to fill up with bark chips and plant fiber. And you do not want to, you don't want to throw all that away. It can come in handy later on to make other recipes. Alright, so we got all these ghost images laid out. Once you select a recipe, you can just keep pressing E. And you can lay the ghost out. For these, it's going to take 8 planks per storage chest. Let's see, we currently actually do not have room. So we can grab an item and use the mouse wheel while you're holding it with the right mouse button and use the mouse wheel to rotate it. And you can change the angle it's at. We'll move a couple things around for a second. Should allow us to grab some planks. So to get the planks, just look at this right side. And if you look in the lower left, it gives you the instructions, but use the right mouse button and you can remove them. And we're overweight, which is fine. It's going to slow us down, so we're going to grab what we can. And don't worry about building too many of these. You're always going to use them. Always going to need more storage. Especially now with the new traders. We need 2 more. Let's go ahead and grab 2 off of this one because it's full. Place that there, then we can put these back on without wasting any. So you want to keep your saw benches going as much as you can. Normally I'd have a big stack of logs right here from cutting down these big trees. I'm trying to leave a lot of the big trees here so we have shade though. So I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so we're going to go to this storage crate here. We're going to enter a name. We're going to call this one chips for bark chips. And then we'll put our bark chips in there. They weigh a lot, so that's going to free up some more of our weight. Plant fibers the same way. So we'll just call that fiber, add those here. You should have been gathering plants if you listen to me, so then you should have a bunch of seeds. So we'll make us a seed crate. You will fill all this up, so don't worry about, again, wasting space. I like to keep my stuff in a certain order, so let me get it back in where I can pay attention to it. We'll call this one ore so we can store any stones we've picked up there. Or if you're lucky enough to find ore, it goes there. This is biofuel, so let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do a crate for oil / biofuel. And we still need a lot more crates, but for now we're just going to go with that. Our inventory should be freed up pretty well, except for this. And like I said, the next thing it wants us to do, because episode 1 is going to be about finishing this tutorial and just getting you to where you can survive the first couple of days. So we need water. For that, before I do water, I'm going to go ahead and want to set up a foundation. So I think this will be like a nice spot. We'll kind of go like right here and do like a little pier thing. So it's going to be under construction, foundations tab. We're just going to grab a wooden foundation. Again, instructions for what you can do with it are in the lower left corner. But you can hold X and use the mouse wheel to change your height up and down. It can go super high, super low. We can go over that more when we build houses. For now, we're going to go just a little bit above the ground so we can kind of build a staircase. So about like right there. I'm going to want a second one, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So we need to build 2 of these. That's going to be 4 wood logs and 6 planks. Let's go and get our axe back out. Alright, so we grab some planks. We're going to add those to this, and we should get a foundation. And then we're going to need 2 more for that one. Tutorial next wants us to, again, water, campfire. So we're going to do this in my order. So the next thing we're going to actually build is going to be others under construction. We're going to put up 2 shelters. So we're going to have one right here. And the reason being is when it rains, it'll put our forge and our fire out. Again, nothing's going to live here forever, but for now, this will get you started and give you an idea of what you need to do to survive. So these are both 4 logs each. So if we want, we're going to take down one of these big trees. So the bigger the tree, the more logs you get. So the small trees only give you 3. These, I want to say 5, and then there's one larger tree that'll give you 7. Unfortunately, the big giant redwoods do not give you any extra. It has been suggested, so the dev might update that later. All right, so we built those out. That's our shelter, so that's going to cover everything. From there, let's go ahead and lay down a campfire. So that's going to be our placeables, food, and that's our campfire right here. You need this if you want to get fresh water. If you're like me and you're struggling because you haven't found any watermelons yet. So we're going to place that down. It needs 8 pieces of firewood and 10 small stone. So to get our small stone and our firewood, what we'll do, the easiest way is the pickaxe. So let's go ahead and get our pickaxe out. You can use this the same way as the axe on the trees if you want to speed mine it. Otherwise, you're going to be there for a minute. You don't have to pick up all these, but you will need them shortly. So if you want them, get them. Just know that stone is super heavy. We should have gone ahead and put all our wood chips and fiber down, which I'm going to do in just a second. So there's our 10 small stone. Let's go ahead and set up some more storage just to help us along the way. So placeables, storage again. We're going to go ahead and put a firewood stand here. And then we're going to go back to the same place, placeable storage. And we're going to grab a stick stand. Now there are log stands and plank stands. I don't care about those right now. This will get some of the weight off of us though. If you do pick up all the stone, just grab it, add it to your ore crate. You need more sticks to finish these. Again, just chop down a bush. And don't worry about grabbing too many sticks because you now have a place to store them. Really quick too here, so we need to find meat or do hunting for that one task. So here's a frog. Go ahead and kill that guy. So we'll just stab one time, press E to harvest. Hunting is completed. Then finish our firewood rack, and then we'll add the rest of the sticks over here to the stick rack. And then we need firewood, so let's go ahead and chop down this tree here. Let that fall. Let's go ahead and grab, actually I just need one log for now, so we'll grab one log, we're going to throw it over here. If you look at that and you hold down your right mouse button, you can destroy it or harvest it. We're going to go ahead and harvest. And it's going to drop us a bunch of sticks, and then 4 pieces of firewood. Go ahead and add those 4 there, add our sticks over here, and let's do that one more time. And the reason I separate them is because a lot of times they'll fall through your log or something, so it'll be trying to pick everything else up at once. It's easier just to move them apart. Alright, and there is our campfire, so we can cook on this thing, so we'll go over that in just a second. Let's get the rest of these resources put together. We're going to need some firewood, so we're going to gather some more of this. Alright, well now's a good time to go over this. We currently are at 8 thirst, so we can actually eat some of it. We're going to go ahead and eat some of these cucumbers and these pumpkins just to prolong our thirst long enough to get some water made. Like I said, normally I would eat all my dry food first, but I'm not sure we have enough left. So what we can do here too is we can cook this liver, this raw liver that we have, and we can cook this raw meat. If not, it'll turn into spoiled food, which save your spoiled foods. We need that to make fuel. So we can go ahead and lay our raw meat right here on the edges in these outer circles. So you can hold 4 pieces of raw meat on the outside of this. Or baked potatoes. There's a few little things you can make. I don't really worry about making anything. The liver is actually not bad to make, but the rest of it's just, you just need it for protein. From there, you can look at any water source. Press I. Again, as an inventory, you'll see add water there. Drag your flask to that. It'll fill up with dirty water. Look at your campfire and then dump that into the bucket. And do that until you hit 200. Again, this gets much easier. There's 2 advancement levels for this to make it a lot easier on you, so don't think it's going to be this bad the whole time. And then once that's done, I like to empty my flask so I don't have dirty water in it, because sometimes, I'm not sure if it get fixed or not, used to, if you had dirty water in your flask and you went to grab clean water, it would make it dirty again. Alright, once that's done, we'll grab 1 piece of firewood. You don't need 4. You can add 4, that'll fill it all the way up. This works just like the gas on the ATV. So put 1 piece of firewood on there. Drag your lighter to the center where you just dropped the firewood, and it should make you a fire. And then you'll see a white circle where the water is start to fill up. Once that's maxed out, it'll go from dirty to clean water. And then the same thing applies to your meat. So right here, this piece of raw meat is slowly filling up around the circle. Make sure you get that off in a timely manner. Otherwise, it'll spoil, or you might get raccoons or something. They might come over here and steal it from you. And then while that's cooking, we can grab these logs. I don't think we're going to need those, so we'll throw them over here on the saw benches, get them working again. Clean up our inventory space. And while we're also waiting, I'm going to go ahead and put down a few more storages. Go ahead and set them right on top of these, because we're going to go gather some stuff. Okay, so we're back by the campfire. Let's go ahead and grab our meat, pull it off. So we should have cooked meat now. It'll change the timer on these to a different amount of time. Now the thing to note here too is this cooked liver is really great. So cooked liver will give you a 0.05 increase to max health and stamina. More advanced food just to give you better amounts. As you can see at the bottom, it's also worth 0.12 gold. So we can go ahead and eat that, and it will slightly build our stats up. Now if you die, your stats will go down. I think that the lowest I think now is 50. If you look right here again, you can see our protein's kind of low, our energy is really low. So let's go ahead and eat everything. We should have water That's ready to go, so we'll be fine. We'll save that last piece of meat because we're pretty full on protein. Now that we have our dirty water flask, we can go over here, scoop out some of that water. What we're going to want to do is extinguish the fire. You don't want to, so to do that, just drag the flask to the center, put out the fire, yes. It'll only consume 1 water, and the rest of your clean water will stay in the bucket for as long as you need it. So then we go ahead and drink that, our water will go back up, grab some more, and then we have 41 units left in there, so now we have a little reserve. Again, the reason we put this over the top of this foundation and fire is because if it rains, it'll put it out. And we're going to lay out our forge that we need to build too, as per the tutorial. That should be under placeables, others, and it's this thing right here, the stone forge. So we're just going to set it right here, make sure it's under the covering. The other reason I put this one down is because we're going to build a bed. So we're going to go to placeables, furniture, grab the bed. One of the most important items in the game, highly underrated by a lot of people. That takes 6 planks. We can actually go ahead and grab those. I think I grabbed a few too many, no big deal. Add those there, and since I have too many planks on me, we'll just go back and add them to these chests over here. Normally I would build a storage for them, but like I said, we're going to build a bunch of storage chests, so we don't need the actual storage for the planks just yet. So what you want to do if you want to make a nice building video is get you a bunch of plank racks and go ahead and make up the planks. So as you can see, we're out of planks now, but we have a lot more storage available. From there, to finish that forge, we need to gather a bunch of stone. Let's see if we have any of this crate over here. We do. So like I said, I did loot a bunch of stuff, so we need to, that's why we're making the extra crates to free that space up. These are clay rocks, so just leave those alone for now. You're going to need a lot of those. And then find the closest stone rock you can. Now, if you don't want to have to carry these like until your weight's maxed out, you can bring a chest over here, fill the chest up, and then move the chest with them in it. Besides that, I just watch my weight, grab what I can. And this is going to take 25 small stone, so we're at 14 right now. Go ahead and get this frog so we can get some more meat. And let's add the last of the stone that we needed. Now we have a forge task complete. So once you press E while looking at the forge, you'll see on the top 2 white circles. That's where you can add your stone or any type of ore to smelt it. Right here in the bottom circle, that's where you're going to want to add your fuel. So for right now, we'll add 4 pieces of firewood. That should cap it out. You have to actually drag this over. It will last a while. Oh, my bad. I guess it's 5. So we'll put 5 pieces on there. That's maxed out now. Like I said, it'll last a long time. And you set it on fire, and again, it's just like cooking. You'll see the white circle around the smaller white circle start to fill up. Once it's done, then we'll have 2 small pieces of iron. You need 5 of the small pieces to make 1 iron ingot, and that's one of our tasks, is to make an iron ingot. So that's what we're doing now. Quickest way to do it at this stage of the game, though, is to actually loot villages. And now that we built the bed, while you look at that, you want to hit the right mouse button one time. And then at the bottom left, you should see bed, spawn point enabled. So if you die, you'll respawn at this bed. It's not always advisable, depending how many bases you have and what base you want to spawn at. Make sure you pick the right one and set that up appropriately. So let's see, I think that's all of our tasks. No, we still need water. So it wants us to build the water basin. So while it's raining, the water basin can fill up. So we go here, placeables, food again. And this used to take metal, now it's just planks. So we can just set this anywhere. If it's red, it's either because you're standing too close to it or because it's just not placeable in that one spot you're at. We'll place that down with E. Let's go grab our planks, which we need to make some more. Alright guys, so I got some more planks made up. Let's go ahead and grab a bunch of these. So we needed 6, I believe it was, to build out this basin. Alright, so that is done now. Once it rains again, it'll fill up with water. Then we can come over here, wash our hands, and do everything else that we need to do. Get water from it. So if you built on top of, say, that plateau, you put a couple of these up there, and you should be good on water without having to come down here until you get later in the game where you don't have to worry about the water basin at all. From there, if your energy level, if you look down at the lower right above sun level, you can see our energy level is pretty low. If you need to recover that, you can sleep. Just know, as you can see while you're sleeping, your stats will decline. So make sure you have water and food ready to go for when you wake up. At the same time, the game time and day advances. But the reason it's important to make a note of that, like I said, you need to make sure you stay fed. Keep your water levels up. And it looks like we need 4 more of these, and then we can make our first iron ingot. So we got 2 cooking. Should just need 2 more after that. With that, we're going to finish up some of these while we're waiting. All right, so we've got oil and biofuel there. I like to make one for fuel, so we have a place to put the fuel that we bring back. For here, we can do ingots. Right here, we'll do electrical and mechanical parts for now. Again, we'll spread this out more once we get to gathering. Then we have fiber and chips there. Let's just go ahead and double up on that. And then we're going to need to make some more of these. That's what we're going to call this one Kevlar cloth, and then the next one we'll just call that one do bones. Over here we'll do meds for medical medical supplies. I'm trying to think what else we need. I'd like to get a miscellaneous one for like screws and things. And I think we're in pretty good shape. We could do one that's strictly electrical because there are a lot of oh no, we need one for clay because there's a lot of clay that we'll be bringing back. And we're out of planks, as you can see. I actually build everything. I don't use the God mode, so we just do it the hard way. Now we could use another one for like glass and things such as that nature. So I'll gather up a little bit more. Maybe we'll place 3 of these down just to have some extras. Before we get those other 3 built, our last 2 iron fragments are done. So now we have 5 and 5. So we'll just shift right click those over and you'll see that they start cooking. That should give us 2 iron ingots. One of the first things we probably want to build using our iron, I think it still takes iron, is going to be, let me see where it's at, placeables, others, the log cart. Yeah, it takes 10 nails. Now we can loot the nails from the villages. The reason you want this is it just makes it faster when you're gathering logs. So we can go and place that blueprint down there. We're going to need the planks for that too. We get the notification that our iron ingots finished making, so it'll just pop up when they're done. Look over here, we can gather them. They weigh a lot, so make sure you've got space. You can just shift right click those off of that. With that, we'll need the anvil to actually make the nails, so hopefully we can just find some so we don't have to worry about that. We'll throw these in the ingot crate so we can find them easily later on. From there, just keep making planks. You're going to need a bunch of those. We can grab the ATV, go ahead and move it a little bit closer and clean the storage on it out. Yeah, so we're currently at 5 nails. We can go ahead and add those to just by looking at this. And so we're halfway there. And then we can add all this back to storage. Let's check our fuel real quick, make sure we're good. We're at half a tank of gas. I'm going to go ahead and dump this in there just to say we did. And then just store everything where it needs to go. Alright, so if you have a crate sitting on the ground or some other kind of placeable item like those benches and you want to move them, just look at it, press N as in November. You can pick it up. You'll see the green icon. Go ahead and just drag it where you want it, and then you can place it down. We'll do the same thing with this one so we get everything back in order. I'm not going to put too much work into it. I don't plan to leave this here for long. So right here, we're going to call this one glass, just in case I pick up any glass. It'll help in the long run. It's one less thing to have to make. And I believe everything has a home now. So as you can see, we've got meds, bones, Kevlar cloth, miscellaneous clay, chips, on and on. So it just makes life a lot easier. Again, keep your planks running. And let's see, we need another 10 planks for this. Alright, so all we need now is 5 nails and we can finish our log cart. That's not bad. Currently sitting on day 2, 3:38 p.m. We are getting kind of low on food and all the good things, so we do have clean water. We can go ahead and eat our melon. That'll get us charged up a bit. I guess we can cook this meat. We're definitely going to want to extinguish this fire. We don't want to keep putting out light. As the light and noise builds, you will attract some friendlies. They will come and try to wreck your stuff. So we've got meat cooking on that. Again, that's just basic meat. We won't get any stat boost for it. All right, so we got our cooked meat back off the fire. We went ahead and grabbed all the water that we had left. Now, if you feel like you're a little bit heavy, and I think that's one of the crates we still need to make, yeah, and it needs to kind of go over there. But for now, put it here. And make one for spoiled food or food that's just excessive that you don't need, so it can spoil. Put it in the crate, it'll go bad, and then you'll have this spoiled food. So you're going to want to keep that around. It's going to come in, so it's really going to come in handy here soon. Alright, so leave that in that. So if you're ever heavy and you can't figure out why, make sure you check your food bag. You're probably full of food or full of spoiled food. At this point, it's a good time to save. We only have 1 item left. This video might be getting a little bit long right now. Sorry, I'm going as fast as I can. And the last thing we need to do is the tech page. So let's go ahead and head over. Let me see. There's a good little tiny place we can go to. Is it this one? No, we're up here. Okay, so go ahead and zoom in. One of these is super easy. I think we'll just head to this one. We'll just loot that. Make sure you have a spear. One thing I did not go over for this, we're going to have to fight. Right mouse button to hold your shield out. Hold it down, it stays out. You're going to need a block or you're probably going to die. Make sure your spear has durability. So if you look in the very bottom right corner below where we're taking stun damage, that is your durability. It's the same giant white circle. Once your spear breaks, you're going to be in trouble. And that should be enough to get us through, so we're going to go ahead and try that out. You will take stun damage while you're sitting on your ATV, so if you can, drive in the shade. And then let me figure out what direction I need to go in. So I need to make a left. So right now we're currently heading to one of the villages, one of the towns, whatever you want to call it. They all vary in size, nature, loot. Loot does respawn, I want to say, every 10 in-game days. All right, and on my test play, like I said, on day 2, I saw 2 groups wandering around on the roads. So be careful. You probably don't want to tangle with a group of them just yet. Yep, so this is the one I wanted to come to. So this one's kind of a little 2-part one. So we're going to stop right here at this first building. Go ahead and jump off. So we're going to loot everything we can. So we're going to loot this truck. Eggs are good. If you get sick, they're going to come in a lot of handy. Again, take all the feathers and all the biofuel you can find and all the old cans you can find. Now, when you see these little drums, search those. That's going to give you gas. That's why I say gas is plentiful, so don't worry about it too much. as long as you're not driving all the time. Cloth, you definitely want to grab a bunch of the cloth. You're going to need that. Bark chips, you don't need that. You can just throw that on the ground. We can come to the bathroom here. Inside the bathtub, you can find like the med kits in the tub. The splint, you can save it if you want to. I'm not worried about it. Animal fat's good, and the medical kit's good, so bring those back. Search the mirror/sink. And while you're doing this, keep your eye out. We should find one somewhere in here. Electrical cable or wire, always get that. Should find some food here. That liver, we're going to want to cook and eat that before it goes bad. Again, stat boost. You always want to boost your stats while you can. Mechanical parts, a great thing. Bring those back every time. Same thing with this. This is iron ore. You want to bring back as much of that as you can find. If you got to drop everything else you have to carry that, bring that back for now. It's early game. It's the most important thing you can find. Watermelon, we can go ahead and eat that. It'll give our water, get our water back up. Metal cans, you don't need a ton of these, but grab a few. That's glass. You can bring some back if you have space. If not, don't worry about it. And that's coal. Again, don't worry about it if you don't have space. And we'll come back over here. We'll go ahead and store this. Especially want to store anything that's heavy and stackable. We did not want to put the bandages in there. Alright, so that little house is done. We're going to go ahead and pull into here. Now watch out. Enemies do spawn in the towns. I feel like I should see one somewhere by now. Oh, I hear him. Oh, there he is. So and this one shoots at you, so watch out, and throws rocks. So if you look at the lower left corner, we're currently taking bleed damage, so just block what you can. Just taken down. So like I said, if you look at the lower left corner, we're bleeding right now. Hopefully we don't attract that other guy. So we're going to press I, click on our player icon. You can see the little plus sign there. This one means that we're bleeding. If you hover over it, it should tell you. So we're going to just put a regular bandage on that. Then you can loot the body. Sometimes they'll give you something good. Another thing is, we got lucky on this. So this is the truck for... Can't believe it's in episode 1 right here. This is not intentional. This is pure luck. This takes 15 mechanical parts, 20 iron ingot, 20 steel ingots, and 25 pieces of plastic to build. But with this bad boy, you can get around the map a lot faster. You can haul a lot more loot than you can on the ATV. So that's just a good time. I'm glad it's right here by the base. Just going to make life easy. Right here's another old can, so we're going to loot that. We're going to go ahead and grab this. We don't need the bark chips. Throw them on the ground. We'll get plenty of those while we harvest trees. And again, make sure you keep an eye on your hit points. We're at 92 out of 100, so we're doing fine. Loot the trash can, loot the cart, throw that on the ground. Trash bags. Got some oil from there. That's good. Right here, it's hard to see, but it's clay soil. I advise bringing that back. Makes life a little easier when you're building a big roof. We'll grab seeds and food from the refrigerators. Let's go ahead and fight this guy really fast. Get him out the way. Nope, we just took a hit. My bad. It's a little rough, but once you get the timing down, the fighting's actually not that bad. And we're bleeding again. Again, keep an eye on that. So go ahead and grab a bandage. Put it on there. So now we're at 80 out of 100 hit points. In here, we should find a tech page. I see it already. So here's some cooked bacon. It's worth 0.32 coins, so let's go ahead and grab that. Kevlar and more clay soil, always good. Plastic, you definitely want to bring back all the plastic. It's time consuming to make plastic. We got some rope. Don't really have to bring rope back. If you have to toss anything out of all this, the rope is the most worthless item. Right here is a tech page, so we're going to press E to pick that up. So you can either learn it now, or you can exit out if you want to finish looting in case you're being attacked. Not worried about that can. We'll find more than we ever need. I am going to come back. Actually, let's let's go put let's loot a little bit more than we put what we have on the cart. Alright, this right here is potato paste. You can use this to help with sunburn and sun resistance, so make sure you get some of that. Again, with the tech point really fast, if you press I and go to your technologies up here, you can see we have 1 point, and then you click on the learn button and you can learn whatever tech you want to learn. Personally, I'd advise probably going for the extractor technology, the advanced workbench chemistry table, and the loom early on. That's just the way. Those are the items I prefer to have first, and then from there I'd work up towards oil and power. That's when we're going to store everything here that'll fit. Like I said, if we have to drop anything, we're going to drop that rope. It's the least valuable item. You can make that out of fiber. It's really, really cheap. I do want my clay stuff just so we can go over building really fast. And I want all of my seeds. I personally think spoiled food is really important now too, so we're going to grab all of it. Again, make sure you keep an eye on your weight, especially if you're dodging enemies while you're trying to loot. 2 more nails. We do not want to bring back plant fiber. Completely worthless. I mean, it's not completely worthless, but as fast as we can get it, there's no point in bringing it back. Same thing with the splint. You can make a splint really fast and easy. Alright, and that's our first town with 1 tech point. So I'm going to go ahead and put that, personally, like I said, I'm going to put that into my advanced... Oh, and of course when they attack, they do respawn, so you got to watch out for that. And the respawn can be kind of quick, so always pay attention. Right, that was perfect. He gave us 4 more nails, so we can finish our log cart now. So let's go ahead and head back. Alright, now that we're back over here, let's go ahead and finish our log cart out. So we'll just add our nails to it. So the log cart is a really, really versatile tool. We're going to cover this super fast because this video is getting way too long at this point. We've had too much luck so far. Alright, so the log cart, you look at it, you can press E, you'll grab it, roll it around. Let's knock down, I don't want to knock that tree down, we'll knock this tree down. And that was a chicken you saw running around, a little white thing. You can kill those, they'll give you eggs, feathers, and meat. Let's grab some of these logs, and you can stack these on the log cart. It does fill up. I want to say it's been a while since I filled it up. I think it's 11. It can hold it max. The other thing that's nice about the log cart, so if we grab this extra crate, you can put 2 crates on top. So you can put one on the front. We can't do it right now because the logs are in the way. So you can put 2 crates on it with 2 stone crates when we get to those. You can also put that with like the 4 logs. So if I grab, come here. If I grab 2 of these off of here. Like I said, you can stack 2 crates on there with a couple of logs, or 2 crates with some stone crates. It's a really, really nice feature to have, and then you can just pick that up. When the crates are on it, it's behind you, so if you look down, you can see the handles. You can still run with it. You can't jump with it, but you can run. Now, guys, to the log cart. It's going to make life easy when we go to relocate all of this stuff to our base over there, once we start building it. Hopefully we get to that in the next episode. For now, I'm going to empty the cart out, probably cook this piece of liver up, get us an extra stat boost, and we're going to go ahead and sign out from there. Hopefully you stick around and you came back for episode 2 when we get it released here in a couple of days. Besides, I appreciate you guys watching. As always, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one.